Hi, I'm Noelle with today's Brew, where top producing real estate agents share their tips on taking more listings, making more money, and having fun doing it. On today's episode, Kobilarcsik shares how he's turned his social media account and prospecting into a profitable business of 55 transactions in just 18 months. Welcome to today's Brew. On today's episode, we have Kobilarcsik. Welcome, Connor.
Hi, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for taking the time to come see us today and hang out for a little while.
Of course.
Let's talk about Cleveland. You're in Cleveland, Ohio. Let's talk about the market there and what it's doing and how long you've been in real estate.
Sure. Yeah. So I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. I've lived here my whole life. The market right now, so it's been very interesting over the last 6 to 8 months. In the fall, there was a big pause when interest rates first went up. And then about a month ago, 2 months ago, the market really started picking back up. And the market's honestly very similar to what we were seeing 2 years ago here. We have very low inventory, multiple offers on any home that's presented well and priced well. So yeah, the market's really picked back up a lot here, and listings are still the name of the game, like they have been for the last 2 years. So
Yeah, and
I've been licensed for 2 years.
Okay, what got you into real estate?
I kind of fell into it by accident, honestly. I'm a social worker with my degree, and I was a caseworker for 6 years. I decided to get my real estate license. I thought I would do it on the nights and weekends. And so I took classes on the evenings for like 3 or 4 months, however long it took me. I got my license and didn't expect to be where I'm at today for sure. But I ended up quitting my other job. So I've been full time about 2 years now, a little less than 2 years.
So where are you at today that you didn't expect to be?
Yeah, just like kind of having the year that I had last year. So it picked up really quickly for me. I kind of took a little bit of a risk when I left my other job. I had some savings and stuff like that, but I was definitely taking a risk. And I just decided to go ahead and go for it. And so in the last 2 years, May 5th, actually tomorrow will be my first deal I've ever closed, was 2 years ago, May 5th. And since then I've closed 55 homes.
Woo, good job.
Yeah, most of those coming in the last like 18 months.
So what did you start doing differently in the last 18 months?
I just started getting some momentum. Like I think I maybe closed maybe 3 or 4 deals in my first 9 months licensed. I started to gain some momentum, and then just working every day, prospecting, setting appointments, and it's been really nice this year so far. I'm at 14 closed and pending, about to be 15 after tonight. For the year, most of that was done in the first quarter. And I've been getting a lot more referrals now, which has been the result of like consistent social media and consistent marketing, consistent networking, and it's taken me a long time. I don't come from a real estate background or family or anything, so I had to take my time for people in my life to be able to associate real estate with me, and obviously that doesn't happen overnight, especially when you have the background I have, which is nothing to do with sales or real estate or anything. So yeah.
Well, you seem to have figured it out, so that's good.
Yeah, so far.
What about your prospecting schedule? Walk us through your morning routine. Like what sets your day up for success?
Sure. So in the beginning, I was actually only calling for sale by owners and that's how I got my first listing. So I was doing that for a long time. I actually really just started diving into expireds this year. So I'm mostly calling old expireds right now. And mostly, honestly, it's because I'm getting my feet wet, and it's probably a little bit less rejection than the new expireds are, and it's the conversations are a little softer. So it's a nice way to practice my phone communication, my ability to set appointments, and things like that. So I've been having quite a bit of success with it. So in the morning, I have A time block, I try to call starting at, I start with the old expireds at 9:30. I know that's really late if I was going to be calling new expireds, but I found that it doesn't really matter too much with the old ones. Um, and usually at least an hour. So like an hour of power. I try to, put 25 to 30 in my dialer every day. And it's been going pretty well, honestly. I've been setting like an appointment a week. So like
Okay.
throughout the day, I'm doing a lot of lead follow up. I tend to put my time towards um, client care and then also like lead follow up and things like that and social media. So I kind of spread it out over a few different pillars of activity.
How important to you is social media? Because you've talked about it a couple times now already.
Yeah.
So is that a daily activity for you? And what are you doing with it? Is that a way of prospecting for
Yeah.
business?
Yeah. Honestly, it's mostly been for me as of right now a way to stay in front of my sphere. I can probably equate, I don't know, I would say at least 70, 75% of my business to social media.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's not new people finding me typically, but it's fear old people that I used to be friends with, high school people. I grew up here who I've added on there. They've been. I mean, I just had a listing I have coming up. I haven't talked to her since probably middle school, but she follows me on Instagram, and for 2 years she's been watching the videos that I make and just what I do. Because I track a lot of it, like I'm pretty active on it, and so she's like, I've been watching you, for 2 years, and we're gonna list our house. So that's like a lot of how it's been happening for me. So right now it's really just a way to stay in front of my sphere.
Hmm.
Um, and network too. I mean, I'm part of a bunch of groups. I meet a lot of people on there. I'm part of Tom Ferry Coaching. So that's a way I keep in touch and try to network with agents. And
And
so
get referral business from them to stand out from other than a coaching event where you met them.
yeah, trying. I mean, I'm still fairly new. I've only been in coaching for 4 or 5 months. So
Okay.
I'm still fairly new. But I've gotten some at bats for sure. So yeah.
So the coaching is helping you stay on task, accountability. What are your strengths and weaknesses for your daily routine? Like, what do you have a challenge showing up for? Call reluctance or
Yeah, for sure. I mean, call reluctance, 100%. I'm a horrible time blocker. So um, I'm very, I get distracted. So I'm definitely not like a type A driver personality, which benefits me in a lot of ways because my social skills and I tend to be more amiable with people. So I think I fit along with a lot of personalities very well. But obviously the downside is I'm not like a type A person where like everything has to be just so. It all has its pros and cons, but it definitely isn't the best for people for time blocking and sticking to a schedule. So my coach and me work on a lot of different things. I track all my numbers in a spreadsheet, the calls that I'm making, the contacts I'm making, the appointments I'm setting. We work on time blocking and then also just like business type stuff. Like we're starting to work on like website SEO, things like that. So it's a lot of accountability for me because I need it.
I can understand that. I'm an amiable, so I get it. I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
There are lots of distractions.
Yeah, I kind of just I flow with the wind. Like I'm I'm just like, whatever comes my way, which
It could be
you
a
know,
challenge.
yeah, it
I
can
tell
be a
myself that I'm like, okay, just 1 hour. If you just do 1 hour right now, then you can take a little break and then you can do
right,
another hour,
right, right,
you
right.
know?
Exactly.
So what would you on like your least favorite source? How do you go about correcting your mindset to make those calls too? Because if you said you did FISBOs, which I find interesting,
Mhm.
because I feel like they have the most pushback. Maybe expireds have
Yeah,
more anger, like you said in the beginning, but I feel like FISBOs typically think they know what they're doing and they have
yeah,
more reservation. So how do you push past that, especially since you said you're not so much of a driver? Like how many
for
no's
sure.
does it take for it to be a no for you?
I'm really looking for, and with expireds, I'm looking for people who give me some kind of time of day to have a conversation because that's where I shine. Is building rapport. And so that's not going to be for everybody. Like, I'm not probably someone who's going to come in, cut my commission, and, just tell you what you want to hear necessarily. But I think the more phone calls you make, you'll find those people. But I've met a lot of really awesome people just through prospecting. Like, I just got off the phone with one of my clients who I've done 2 deals with now, and he owns quite a bit of real estate around Cleveland and some vacant lots and stuff that I'll be listing that I met calling for sale by owners 2 years ago.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you maintained a relationship with them.
Yeah. So we've become like really close. So you just never, and he just gave me a referral actually. So you never really know who you're going to meet. And so I try to stay in that mindset as best I can. Like I'm not calling to get your listing right now on this phone call. I'll try to set the appointment, of course, especially with expireds. But if that doesn't happen, I'm going to try to find the people that I can build some kind of relationship with and get some kind of database going. So I think if I stick with that mindset, it takes a little bit of the pressure off. I know that's probably not how everyone looks at it. But that's how I look at it right now, because it helps me take the pressure off of everything and just remind myself I'm just having conversations.
Yeah, and it gives you a healthy mentality to keep moving forward and like your job.
Yeah. And then,
when you have nice conversations.
Yeah. And I could be aggressive trying to set appointments. But if they don't want to do it, then, it is what it is. And, I always ask for the appointment, of course. But I've built a lot of relationships off people that I've just called. So
on a FSBO, you went and asked for an appointment, maybe the first conversation or if it naturally happens,
if it naturally comes up. Yeah. When they just go on, the chances of me getting an appointment are like very slim.
And are you honest with them, like up front? Are you honest, with your intentions up front, or because I know some people will say, "Oh, I have a buyer who's interested," just to get like in front of them?
I don't.
Okay,
so
good.
I learned from the beginning that I'm just going to be myself, and like if that doesn't give me the listing because I got in there in a sneaky way, then whatever. There's nothing against it. It's just not my jam. So it's just more of a something like, hey, is this the owner of 123 Main Street? Great. My name's Connor, and I'm actually just calling to see if you are working with any agents who might have qualified buyers. And they'll say, yeah, if we have, do you have a buyer? I'll be honest with you, I actually don't have a buyer, but I'm keeping my fingertip on the market because inventory is low, as you probably already know. And so I want to make sure that I know what's going on in the for sale by owner market in case any buyers do come across my desk. Just opening the conversation like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're getting them comfortable with you.
Right.
And then, so market stats are important to you then, and will you share that with the FSBO people to maybe just get them to trust you a little bit? And
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I never want to tell a for sale by owner usually like that, like they're not going to be able to do it on their own on the first phone call. I think they discover that after a period of time. So like typically if you just stay in touch with them, you'll get an appointment eventually.
So as far as expireds go, you'll ask for an appointment that day. Like your goal when you sit down and prospect, do you have, I think you said something about 25 or 30, but I was a little confused. Is that how many people you want to talk to every day? And is your goal every day to get a listing appointment or just to get a contact number?
So I mean, my goal is to get an appointment, some kind of an appointment. My listing appointment goal for the week is 2 appointments a week.
Okay.
Because I can usually sign about 50% of my listings, and that's a listing a week. And for me, that's a lot of listings. So that's my goal. I think in the last 3 weeks, I've set 1, 2, 3 expired, maybe 4 expired. So I'm behind my goal a little bit.
What's your goal for the year? Just the 2. So you want 2 listing appointments. What's your batting average though? Are you going to?
Yeah, I'd like to take 1 listing a week for the rest of the year.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it would be great.
Well, I think you can do it.
Yeah, me too.
How many conversations does that take for you, like on a day or a week, to get those appointments?
50-ish. Probably. I'm still tracking a lot of my numbers right now in my spreadsheet. So like I'll have a better answer probably like as in a few months when I actually sit down and look at it. I think it's about 50. And again, like for every person who answers the phone and it's the right number, I would say I can get some kind of an appointment, or at the very least have a really, really good conversation and lead with like 1 out of 5 of those people with the old expireds. And I found that typically if they expired about 2 or 3 months ago, they're thinking about relisting now. I've learned I'm like the guy who just like popped up out of nowhere. Like some agents have been talking to them for 3 months, but sometimes they're already annoyed with them. So if I can like pop up and offer a different perspective, then maybe I have a better chance.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, in my area, there's 10,000 of us, and you're going to connect with you're going to connect with people differently.
For sure. 100%.
And there's enough business to go around, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you separate yourself from other agents? Say you have a listing appointment, but you're up against two others. What makes you stand out? What makes people pick you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think what makes me stand out from other agents is just my ability to make people feel comfortable and communicate with them as far as like why I think they feel different when I come over. I think my communication and my negotiation abilities and my marketing abilities are a step above most, if not the rest. And so I think I offer like the full package, honestly, of everything that someone would need. And a listing agent. I'm calling when I say I'm going to call. I'm texting when I say I'm going to text. I'm sending you updates when I say I'm going to send you updates. I have pre-listing packet I send them so that they know, they can see my reviews, they can see what people say about me, they can see my marketing. So,
and I was about to say, what is your idea of experience? Time or transactions?
No, not time, transactions.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
Yeah,
so you have great experience.
Yeah, it's definitely not time. I know that. You learn that pretty quickly.
Yeah, because you deal with people that do one deal a year.
Yeah. So I mean,
who don't call you back, who don't send you anything they're supposed to send you.
And I tell them, like, if someone brings up that I've been in the business for 2 years, or I'm young, I'm under 30 years old, or whatever. Usually, what I say is I'm in the thick of it. Like, I have 5 escrows right now. I am showing houses every week. Might not have the time in years, but what really matters is what's going on in the market right now for your house. Like, that's what we're looking at. We're not looking at what happened in the past. I think what really matters is what's going on right now today. And I know I have my finger on the pulse of what's going on. And I'm going to be able to guide you through the market. So,
yeah, I can tell. So what would your key advice be for a newer agent? What would be something that you would tell them that if they want to be successful, what do they need to do? What's one thing that they need to do?
Willing to take risks. Even right now, obviously I'm still a newer agent, but I get very frustrated, and this business can be very stressful, and a lot of emotions, and it can just be a lot sometimes. So I think it's important to, in the beginning, just keep pushing past those things. And each time you hit a road bump, you'll be able to navigate it that much better. Your communication will get better, because so much of real estate is the way you present information to your clients, the strategies that you have for presenting offers, for negotiating offers, for doing all those kinds of things. Like, those make or break deals. I would say in the beginning, just showing up, like, I just dove right in. I found a mentor. I went to open houses. I talked to other agents. I showed houses for other agents. I did everything. Called, watched YouTube videos, listened to podcasts. I mean, it took a lot to have any kind of traction. So I would say, as simple as this is, it's just show up and work and do like the stuff that kind of sucks, like prospecting. I don't love doing it, but I think that you'll learn that if you get really good at that skill, you'll be able to meet a lot more people. And at the end of the day, it's just about having conversations. So,
and you'd say, I mean, prospecting will change your business.
Yeah, I mean, it's really my only lead source. Like, I don't pay for leads, I don't pay for buyer leads. So the lead flow that I control is prospecting. Like, that's pretty much it. So whether it's prospecting my sphere or prospecting new clients, like, that's pretty much what I do every day. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Question really quick, because you said you really you went all in, fully submerged into the real estate world and did everything you could do, and it was hard.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to get your first listing?
From the time I was licensed, 6 months.
Okay.
It was a for sale by owner, actually.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, 6. Yeah. All right, cool. That's what I want to say. So you can go 6 months without anything, and then you can get 50.
Yeah, it was 6 months of working every day.
And 54 deals after that in 18 months.
And I'm still like, I'm still figuring it out. Like, I'm still on this little bit of a roller coaster where, like, February and March, I closed 5 deals each month. And then this month I've had no closings. And then May, I have 4 closings lined up. So I'm learning I'm still in that beginning of business. Like,
ride the wave.
Like, I have a lot of business. I'm not prospecting. I don't have any business. All I'm doing is prospecting. So It's a learning experience, and it's definitely has its ups and downs, but I think that I'm starting to finally build a pipeline that can hopefully feed me consistent business.
And you'll be here for the long haul.
I hope so. I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said before, like, I don't really have another option because I don't think I can ever go back working for like a W-2 job. It's just,
Yeah,
I
and you
don't.
get to have your own life here too. As long as you run your
Yeah,
business right, you can
yeah,
travel, and I mean, you can be on vacation and you can prospect.
yeah,
Well, this was awesome. This was really, really great.
yeah.
I really enjoyed talking to you.
Me too.
And I'm sure everyone's gonna love everything you had to say and want to send you lots of referrals. So
Awesome.
how can they reach you? And make sure to spell your name for everybody.
Yeah. So my full name is Connor, Connor. Last name Kobilarcsik, Kobilarcsik. It's a long one. You can find me on Instagram, Connor Kobe Realtor, Connor Koby Realtor. On Facebook, it's just my name. And then you could just call me directly, 440-539-6347. It's probably the best way to get a hold of me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it.